Just going to launch the recorder. All right, well, I hope you're all having a good fall and over the trauma of seeing summer go away. We just wanted to touch base with you today about a few things. First of all, I wanted to ask you, I know last time I asked a question about what your current biggest challenges are, and I'd love to hear what they are now a couple months later. So if you could type in your chat box what your current biggest challenge is, that would be great. And make sure it's that everyone is selected in the Send To box. No challenges? Scott, I know your current challenge is probably redoing work that was lost when you used a corrupt thumb drive. Okay. Matt, instructor feedback and buy-in is still a challenge. Okay, yeah, that was a common theme last time. Roger, none for you. Great. Anybody else? Current challenges? Oh, the app's changing for tablets. Scott, how often do those change?
Depends on how long they want to support them.
Huh.
As I've gone through, the EMR record stuff changes on a regular basis. The prominent ones tend to just update their stuff, but some of them, I had a couple in labs that you had to go out and find and install, and you can't find them anymore. They don't exist. So I keep changing stuff as we move through.
So 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah, 4 steps back and 1 step forward.
Well, that would be a challenge. Well, we'd also like to get your input on if this is not, something we can actually do on this grant, but if we were to launch another grant project similar to this one, what suggestions do you have for staffing in terms of curriculum development and getting that accomplished? This time we had faculty SMEs and curriculum development specialists at each college. And I know that's worked well in some cases, not as well in other cases. So any suggestions you have on that would be very welcomed for future grant endeavors.
We've done well with ours because of the fact that we've got the faculty developing the curriculum instead of I signed up as a curriculum specialist, but they have the people teaching the classes are the ones developing the curriculum, and we're just paying them whatever percentage out of the salary from mine to create this. I can't imagine having a single person trying to work with faculty, because the paperwork on this, trying to understand what it is we're putting in and all the rest of the stuff, that would be difficult. Plus, it's to me, it'd be hard to get faculty buy-in if they weren't getting paid for developing it.
Well, yeah, and I think your arrangement is somewhat unique. In a lot of the other colleges, we have paid faculty SMEs and then a non-subject matter expert curriculum development specialist. And the curriculum development specialists are filling out all the forms and all of that and trying to work with faculty SMEs. And I don't know if anyone would like to unmute their mic. and talk about that experience at all? And Matt Beal says, I think a SME or instructor meeting at the beginning of the grant project, similar to the project manager meeting. Oh, that's an excellent suggestion, Matt, to meet very early on. And Brooke, maybe a faculty and industry SME combination, also an excellent suggestion. Because Scott, what we found with some of the faculty SMEs is that this project was low on their priority list, and if they had other more pressing commitments like students starting a class, for example, this dropped to the bottom of their list. So in many cases, we had a hard time getting their attention.
Right.
Matt, we're having a hard time getting our instructor to see the big picture and consortium goals. Yeah, it's a very peripheral item for a lot of faculty. But Scott, with you, it's different because you are playing a dual role. And it is very helpful to have someone who is the subject matter expert creating the actual instructional content. Any other suggestions? Okay, well that is interesting to note, and if we're ever crazy enough to do this again, we'll take these into consideration when we're putting together a grant proposal. Well, and hello, Emily. Emily, we just asked if people had any suggestions on how to structure the curriculum efforts differently for future grant projects. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. No, I don't know if Emily. Emily
hello, can you hear me?
Oh, hi. Yes, now we can. Did you hear my question, Emily?
I think there's a delay. So I don't have any. I did hear that. I don't have any thoughts at the moment about that. I think I need to take that back and think about it.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then finally, I just wanted to know what has been, I mean, we've talked about challenges quite a bit. What's been the most satisfying element of working on this project over the last year? Whether it's a particular activity you developed or, you know, some experience you had. Scott, yeah, developing cutting-edge coursework. Yeah, mobile apps and mobile devices. It's one of the things that really catches people's attention, Scott, when we're out and about and people are asking us about the grant. Oh, Matt, yeah, the whole Creative Commons aspect, the open source education movement. It really is cool to be part of that. It's a whole different way of thinking. Any other thoughts? Okay, well, on to a more mundane topic, ONC attribution. So the ONC content is freely available to use. However, we do need to attribute where it came from. So if you're creating challenge exams that use ONC assessment questions, if you could indicate in some way that which items are excerpted from the ONC materials. So a couple of options. We're trying to make it as easy as possible for you. So option number one, if nearly all of your challenge exam questions are taken from the ONC, if you could put a hashtag next to those that you created independently, and then we'll go in and put the attribution next to the ONC items. If, on the other hand, you developed most of the questions and just used a handful of ONC questions, mark those with an asterisk, and we'll do the same thing. We'll go in and add the attribution at the bottom of your page, bottom of your document, rather. That makes sense? Any questions on that? Okay. So the next item, we wanted to give you a glimpse of the Health IT Faculty Development course, which is open to all faculty. We have typically one or two right now from each of the colleges, but anyone interested is welcome to join, and we have two elements to it. One is about 15 hours of self-paced content, and the other is a couple of webinars. So if you or any faculty that you're working with, or any faculty that you think might be interested would like to join, just let us know. And Brooke is going to give you a little tour. Brooke, I'll give you the power.
Thank you. All right. Hi, everyone. Let me just share with you kind of what it looks like. And can everyone see my desktop? Here we are at the home page of the faculty development course. And as Margaret mentioned, it's open to all faculty. We have two groups of faculty right now, health faculty and IT faculty. I know some of you are working closely with faculty in the curriculum development, and Scott, you're already enrolled in the course as faculty. But for those of you who are working with faculty that might not be enrolled, this is just information for them to learn more about health IT content, and they are more than welcome to participate. And if they're interested, just shoot me an email and I can send you and the faculty login information. So just a little bit about the course. Basic course outline is divided into 5 modules. Some of the modules overlap in content, and some of them diverge depending on if you're health faculty or IT faculty. So for example, we have Unit 1 here, and it's Introduction to Health IT Applications, so CPOE and CDSS and patient monitoring systems, et cetera. Unit 2 talks about the healthcare environment. Since this is very familiar obviously for health faculty, it takes on a little bit more of current kind of initiatives in the healthcare environment, including the Affordable Care Act. And then for IT faculty, a little bit more of a broad strokes of the healthcare environment. We also have a unit on privacy and security, and also the impact of health IT on healthcare. And then finally, the technology behind health IT for health faculty, and for IT faculty, a little bit on standards and requirements. So just to go back and take a look at what type of content we have, I'll go into one of the modules really quick. So here's the first module on health IT applications. And at the beginning of each module, they'll see a pre-assessment, which is 10 questions long. And basically, it's just for them to gauge their current knowledge on the topic. So some people will have a lot of background knowledge on health IT, other faculty might not have any. And this is just to see if they answer all the questions right. Maybe this isn't a module that they need to go through. If they get all the questions nearly wrong, maybe there's a lot of content that they can explore and kind of brush up on the topics. So you'll see a series of lectures, and these are primarily pulled from the ONC, but where we could, we tried to substitute ONC content with kind of more engaging activities like videos or articles. And some of this stuff you'll see posted already on the curriculum website, and some of the stuff you all developed under the grant as well. So we have some videos, we have readings, we have storyline activities, and then we've also included a section on EMR Star. So if faculty want to get a little bit more hands-on experience with an EMR system, they're more than welcome to practice using EMR Star, and Roger has all those passwords and access codes for that. And then finally, there's discussion questions for both health and IT faculty to kind of engage with each other and get the two perspectives on a particular topic. And at the very end, there's a post-assessment that kind of reassesses their understanding of the content if they did work through this module. So that's just a look at one of the modules. And like I said, you all are welcome to pass this information on to faculty that you're working with, and they are more than welcome to participate. Are there any questions? All right, well, I'll pass this back to you, Margaret.
Thank you, Brooke. So I also wanted to remind you about the Carnegie Mellon CA HIMSS content that is being available. I'm sorry, that's being developed. And let me show you a glimpse of that. Okay, so CA HIMSS has 9 units, and so far we've worked with Carnegie Mellon and another DOL TAA CCT grant consortium partner, MoHealth Wins, to develop Unit 1. And these are the topics in Unit 1. And let's take a look at one that is pretty representative. It basically takes the ONC content, distills the key elements, and presents it in a more interesting way. So you see the learning objective up here. And here's a presentation on information about inpatient long-term care. So they've created 4 patients and given them a little background. So it just makes it more interesting and lets learners connect with the information more easily. You'll see that there are a lot more visuals in the Carnegie Mellon content than in the ONC content. This is because we're also partnering with a group called CAST, and their focus is on universal design and accessibility, and they're very skilled with graphics. So this makes it easier for students to make mental maps of the information. And then there are also learn by doing activities where the students can practice interacting with the content without being graded. And if they're unsure of the answer, they can click on the hints that can help them. They can go back and review and then answer the questions. And then finally at the end, there are what the Carnegie Mellon folks refer to as high stakes assessment. Oh, sorry, actually those come later. But there's a variety. There's drag and drop, and as you can see, a lot of these have hints and give students many opportunities to interact with the content without just sitting passively and listening to voiceover PowerPoint lectures. So, if you'd like to access this content, you can do it in one of a couple ways. If you just want to look at it and borrow ideas or just to get a sense of it, you can follow these instructions, and I'll send out this slide deck to everyone after we're done today. Or if you'd actually like to integrate this content into your own course sites, there's a way to do that pretty seamlessly. Students don't have to leave your course site and create a login for Carnegie Mellon's site. They can just they can access the information within your own LMS. What it doesn't do, though, is when they complete assessments, for example, it won't go to the grade book in your LMS. You would have to extract that information from the Carnegie Mellon site. But my understanding is that you can just export an Excel doc with that information in it, so it's pretty easy to integrate into your own system. Any questions or comments on the Carnegie Mellon materials? Unit 1 is available now. They estimate that Unit 2 will be available in mid-January, and the content for all of the units will be completed by November 2014. And if anybody has any problems, if you're trying to incorporate the content and you're hitting bumps, just let me know and we'll get someone from Carnegie Mellon to work with you. No questions or comments? There's some really good stuff in there. It's a labor-intensive effort. Brooke and I have both been writing content, and it takes about a minimum of about 10 hours to write one page of content using their approach. And there's a full review team for every single page, including an assessment expert. So it's some pretty sophisticated learning resources. Well, I know some of you may have already heard, Brooke is moving on to a new and interesting position in health IT, as a matter of fact, at the University of Washington Medical Center. Very sad to see her go. Brooke. Yes, Brooke, that is me. Brooke has been such an excellent colleague, and I will miss her on both a professional level and a personal level very much. A+ on all fronts, and I know that many of you have commented to me that how much you've enjoyed working with Brooke as well. So sorry to see Brooke moving on. And Brooke's last day will be October 31st. So I wanted to let you know that if you submit documents after the 31st, the turnaround time might be a little bit slower than usual, but we will turn things around as quickly as we can. And Brooke, best wishes. Any comments or questions on anything? Anything with curriculum, challenge, exams, templates? Is there anything that you would like to have a meeting about that we have not covered? Okay. Well, I know you're all heartbroken because no one likes to get out of a meeting early, but I hope you have an excellent fall afternoon. And let us know if any questions come up. All right, take care, everybody.